Are you currently in a muscle building phase and wondering what the best times to eat are for muscle growth? Or are you wondering, is meal timing even irrelevant? We're going to cover this in today's video. So welcome back to another video. Just done a chest session in the books, decent one, hot and sweaty session. Just done my 20 minutes cardio as well. So that's all ticked off for the day. And basically I just wanted to cover this point of meal timing, when the best times to eat for muscle growth are. I'm just going to cover 3 points really to take into consideration if you are in a building muscle phase. And the first one, we'll get straight into it. The first one is how many meals you have per day. Now, this can change for everyone. It depends on your routine, how busy you are, put simply. If you have 3 meals a day, 4 meals a day, 5 meals a day, 6 meals a day, it doesn't really matter. I personally think the more meals you have a day, the better, just for protein to be scattered evenly throughout the day for digestion purposes. But, if you have 3-4 meals a day, I think depending on your routine, so if you're waking up, say you work a 9 till 5, if you're waking up, you're getting 1 meal in before you go, you're having 1 meal, say at lunchtime, that's your second. You'll probably have 1 when you get back from the gym as third, and then potentially you have a late meal, which is the fourth. If you work nights, again, you can stick to that same routine. It's just the hours are just shifted the other way. I believe the more, the better. The second point I want to make, though, is the meal timing around your training session. And this is quite important. So I believe that, again, if you're working long days, your priority is ultimately the gym session. Okay, so you want to be fueling your gym session. So you want the majority of your carbs and good food, good healthy foods before and after your sessions. Now, the other meals at the other parts of the day, so if you train in the evening, the morning meals, they are still important, but they're not as important. Now, if you're in a muscle building phase, a tip for you is basically to get in a high protein, high carb meal, probably an hour or 2 hours before your training session. Now, for me, that's a priority. So I would make sure, if I was working, I would make sure, okay, 2 hours before I say finish, or an hour and a half before I finish, I will have my meal. And that's normally an oats meal, oats, whey and dark chocolate. Oats, again, is a slow release carb. So when I get to the gym, I'm feeling good. I'm not having a high sugar meal like, say, rice or pasta cereal or something like that. That can easily lift me and then crash me down. So I want a slow release carb. So oats is perfect for that time. Dark chocolate, again, high good fats, perfect for that time of day. And you've got the whey protein, again, high protein. So that's the perfect schedule. If you are working and you're very busy and you can't eat that hour and a half, you don't have time, or work won't allow you to, then I think that when you have your break, depending on how far it is away, that determines how big that meal is. So say, for example, you have a break at 1 p.m. at lunch, and then you don't finish till 5, and then you go train. What I would do is I would have a bigger meal at your lunchtime, eat nothing probably until about half an hour before you're about to finish, and then I would have some carbs just before. Now, I used to do this before, where I was really busy working with a friend. We were doing 10, 11, 12-hour shifts, probably most days. And what we'd find is we only had slots in the day, and it wasn't even, all the time, but we only had a few slots where we could actually eat our food. Now, we'd make sure when we did eat our food, it was a good meal, good filling meal, and it would take us into the evening, into that gym session. The further your meal is before your gym away, I think then the more chance that you should have some carbs literally just before your session. And again, it's just to lift you a little bit, so along with a pre-workout. So this could be anything from Pop-Tarts, a cereal bar. It hasn't got to be a full-on meal before, but just something with a bit of sugar just before your session, especially if you are sat in an office all day, or you are even an active job, to be fair, because you are, you're going to be tired. A lot of energy is being used, but you want to be up for that session. The food around the session is a priority. When you finish your gym session, again, there's all this talk about protein timing after the session. I don't believe any of that. What you got to do is, when you've finished your session, You go home and the first thing you do is hydrate. That's the first thing you do. Don't go home and eat straight away. I believe that you take your time. There is no real rush. The first half an hour after your session is getting water in. Don't down it, just little sips. Make sure you're fully hydrated. And then within that half hour, get a nice, again, high carb, moderate fat, high protein meal in. And that meal is going to be absorbed very nicely by the body because you've just had a workout and now the body is ready for food. Especially in a muscle gaining phase, that's probably the best time. It's when you wake up and after your gym session is the best time to get in your best healthy meals. Your body's going to absorb those a treat. So yeah, that will be the best thing. And again, it's all to do with the calories on the muscle building. So, you know, make sure you are in that surplus. Make sure you're weighing yourself every week. Make sure you're going up, you know, half a pound a week every 2 weeks. It's not a lot when you're in muscle gaining phase. It's very slow. It's not as quick as weight loss is. Yeah, and you just keep monitoring yourself. Don't push calories up too quickly. You don't want to be adding body fat really quickly, and you just take your time. The third and final point I just want to cover is food around your sleep. I think that's really important. The meal before bed is really important, I believe. Again, if you are muscle building and you're eating a lot of calories, the best advice I would give you is you want to be finishing your food as early as possible in the day. Now, I don't mean get all your food done by 3 p.m. You know, that's, if you've got a lot of food to eat, that's probably impossible. But I reckon you want to see and target if you can get all your food eaten by probably 7, 8 p.m. Now, some days that's going to be challenging. You could be busy and then you could be behind on food and it's like, oh, I've got to have a cheat meal now to get all my calories in or whatever it is. But I believe the earlier you can get your food done, the better, you know, your food's digested it and you can sleep a lot better. The worst thing is going to bed feeling really full and, you know, you're uncomfortable, you can't lay on your side or wherever's your comfiest position. And yeah, it makes sleep more of a chore, you know, uncomfortable. And, you know, the sleep's the best time. You know, you want to be recovering, you want to make sure your sleep is, you know, as soon as you hit the pillow, you want to be drifting off. That's the state you want to be in. If you've got other factors influencing your sleep, then obviously, you know, you've got to get round those. And but ultimately, I think, yeah, that meal timing before bed is really important. The other thing to do with the sleep as well is the first meal of the day. Now, if you're in a muscle building phase and your calories are quite high, I believe you want to be eating early as possible. So as soon as you wake up, you want to be eating a meal. If anything, you want to be waking up just a little bit earlier just to get that first meal in. And again, probably make sure it's a high calorie first meal. So not the majority of your calories, but a high number of your calories are eaten at the start of the day. Make sure it's high protein. And, you know, at the end of the day, 3-4 meals, you know, is enough in a muscle building phase. But at the end of the day, hopefully what you get from these 3 points are that make sure whatever meals you eat per day, make sure it's consistent, focused around your training, and make sure that your meals are optimized around your sleep. So you can get good sleep, you can recover well, and then obviously your muscles get stronger for your next gym sessions. And also for your central nervous system as well. So, you know, you feel more energetic. The last thing you want to do is, you know, be eating really late, food timings everywhere. You're feeling really full because of all this high food, you're struggling to get water in, you can't sleep well, and then in the end it becomes a recovery issue, and that's the worst thing you want in a muscle gaining phase. And then you're going to need to take 3-4 days off just to get over that. So, but yeah, those are the 3 points. I hope that helps you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions yourself, pop them in the comment section below and I'll be happy to answer them on these videos. So yeah, I will see you in the next one.